we've seen more European players playing college basketball this year than ever before with NIL.
100%. And for a number of different reasons. There's so many different reasons. I think the way that they teach the game over there. I'll give you an example. It's kind of funny how it happens this way. If you were to take, I would almost promise you, if you were to take some of the best basketball minds, and you were to go look at how that they're playing, I would bet you America is probably a little bit behind the eight ball for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The beer screens, the ghost screens, the Zoom, like all that stuff was being done in the Europe years ago. We're just now starting to see it interact into our
even with something more simplistic like the floaters. They were all, a lot of the guards, even the bigs were doing floaters coming over from Europe way before that we kind of picked that up.
100%. And they had to because of the goaltending rule. Like, they had to come up with the rule that, over there you can get it out the rim.
Right.
So they had to find alternative ways to be able to shoot over the big where the big couldn't get that. So you're absolutely right about that. Like, I even know, I'll tell you, when I was at the college level and I started noticing everybody was running the same offense, whether, the flex was super popular, motion offense was popular, the horn set is still very popular. And so I would watch a lot of European, German, Spanish, French programs and kind of steal some of their stuff because I know a lot of guys locally weren't using it. So when I got to start creating my own offenses, I would watch the European game. The one thing that they do phenomenal over there that we are terrible at doing is if you watch why those teams play us so well, they use 5 guys working together. If you watch the NBA, it's so boring now because it's a high pick and roll, or a guy's going to get to the corner and you're trying to get a transition. We're going to try to swing the ball to the corner, try to get a shot up. If it's not there, it's a ball screen going downhill. It's 3 guys watching 2 guys, or 3 guys watching 2 guys, or 2 guys watching 3. So, it's boring. It's to me, one of the statistics I thought that was just eye-opening to me, and I know you've probably seen all over social media, the Charlotte Hornets game against the Bulls. They missed 75 to 78 threes. Not attempted. They missed 75 to 78 threes. There
was barely any mid-range shots taken.
And there's no, but back in the day, why did everybody like Michael Jordan? Why did everybody like, and they're saying the game is different then, and it's this, that, and they're more skilled, and they're this, that, and the other. But the problem is, 2 things I think that has gotten rid of the game. Loyalty, and that comes from ownership. I'm not saying just players. But back in the day when you were a Bulls fan, you were a Bulls fan. When he left to the Wizards, you understood it only because he became the owner first and then helped out. He did that way, right? Patrick Ewing, could you imagine Patrick Ewing in a Lakers uniform? Could you imagine Isaiah Thomas wearing a Magic uniform playing in Orlando? No, he had to play in Detroit. Magic had to be a Laker. Patrick had to be a Knick, and Jordan had to be a Bull, or else the thing wouldn't work. Like Larry Bird going down and playing for Giannis's Milwaukee team. No way was that possible. That's one thing, and I do blame ownership because they're so unloyal to the players and the coaches as well. But then secondly, those guys had those rivalries where they were trying to take each other's head off. The only guy, and I will challenge you. I'll challenge you on this. Outside of Ant-Man, and I got to coach against Ant-Man, and that kid is that special. He played for the Under Armour team, the Atlanta Express team, and I saw him single-handedly dissect anything that I could throw at him with some of the best defensive guys that I've ever coached. If you give me one other talent who is a superstar, not good, not like someone that you could consider being the top 3, going to be the next Jordan, Kobe, that didn't come from Europe outside of Ant-Man. Could you name one at Ant-Man's excitement and talent right now?
For sure.
American basketball player.
Before.
Not older, not Kyrie Irving's.
No. I mean, before he got in trouble, John Morant. Even though I don't skill wise,
I'll
Not
give it to you.
yeah,
I'll
John
give it to you. But
Morant.
you know the one thing
The
about John?
excitement that people were so excited about John Morant and his athleticism and small frame, what he could do, kind of like an
100%.
AI and stuff. I thought he was going to be the next guy for the NBA before he started getting in trouble.
100%. And you said it exactly right. The difference of a superstar, and crazy, John lives probably, from where I live to where John lives is probably 5 minutes. I'm not even 5 minutes from my house. Marcus Smart lives not too far from where I live as well. I say that to say I am a huge fan of these guys. I mean, I see them. They build a community. I saw John would come watch his sister play, and he would hand out $100 bills to kids to go get them a Snickers from the concession stand. Hey, keep the change, just to build a community up. You know, he came to a lot of local events to build it up. He came to watch us play when Jasper played at the EYBL at the Peach Jam this last time. So I've got nothing but respect for this man. Without him, the city of Memphis wouldn't have a player in basketball with him. I'll say that to say this. You said it best. Before he got in trouble, and that's the knock that he's gonna get. You don't see Kobe getting in trouble like that, right? Where if he had some personal stuff, that's personal. They did a great job of keeping Michael's stuff about his gambling behind closed scenes. Like, Charles Barkley was just outspoken, right? Shaq went through a divorce is the worst thing you could say about Shaq. Penny got hurt is the worst thing you could say about Penny. Like, you don't see those type of things where those guys are getting in trouble like that. And I don't see that about Ant-Man either. You see him as that next elite star. I know that when Kyrie left Nike, they moved Ja's shoe up, and I like his shoe. I really do. I think they kind of like a cross between Kobe's and a little bit of Paul George shoes mixed together. So I say all that to say I love the man, but that's the one thing. The fact that he has gotten hurt as much and gets in trouble. Those are the two things that I think that you can't rise him to that elite status. What's the knock on KD being that same level guy is that he gets hurt as well. So, the total package, the LeBron that's been a workhorse forever, the Kobe that had a dislocated finger and played, the Michael Jordan that had a 102 flu and still won a game. Like, that elite status you can see Ant-Man rising to, but I just don't see that much for basketball being in an American sport. I don't see the next talent coming out there. It could go back to the NIL. It could go back to a different generation. It could go back to the style of play. There's a lot of things that you could probably go back to identify why it's changed, but it has changed.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know when the next time we may not have a NBA MVP that's not European for a while.
Agreed. I mean, and what's crazy is, like, you even watch a guy like Joker. Joker didn't even love basketball as much as John loves basketball. I'm sure, like, that man will tell you, he's like, I'd rather watch horse racing. And then, so you got guys in America who are like, dang, like, you can actually love two different things. He's like, no, this is the sport to me, and I'm that good. So, like, that just shows how much different it is over there. That they home in on their profession. It's not even the desire of passion for some of them. It's just a sport. And that guy's done such a great job of, being the reigning MVP when he has been, and being able to dominate the game the way that he has been. I mean, he's such a great story too. Being a European player with picked 60th, now he's reigning, or 59th or something like that, and then now he's like the MVP year after year, winning championships, and he loves to watch horse racing. So it's interesting coming from a place like, I guess, what is it, Croatia, wherever he's from. So I think the European game is that much better than the American game right now. I think we've got better basketball players, better minds. We just haven't figured out yet what we need to do in order to be we've been the future for so long. I think we forget that we still have to stay innovative and ahead of the curve. I think we just normally just expect to be on our talent, just show up and then be better than everybody else. And they're catching up on us on the international world. I mean, they're doing phenomenal things over there. and
I
we're
think
definitely stealing a lot of their games.
America and Western Europe is really lucky that Eastern Europe countries are not connected anymore, like a Yugoslavia, that they're all separated. If not, that out the Yugoslavian team would probably have won gold probably the last couple of years. Like the top players, like a Jokic and the big boy from the Celtics and some of the guards have been from the Eastern European area, from the Slavic states, from the Slavic countries. So we
Right.
kind of are lucky there's no more Yugoslavia.
Man, that's a good observation. I never thought of it like that, but now that you say that, that makes a lot of sense. And actually, it's starting to. I mean, there's been a lot of guys from the point guard to the bigs
Yeah,
that have played in
Croatia and Latvia, all those countries that are separated now.
Oh yeah, man, you know,
Latvia beat France in the before the Olympics.
France is phenomenal.
Yeah, Latvia
You
beat
know that
France.
that's. What'd you think about the guy from? Did you get to watch much of the Olympics this year?
Oh yeah, I watched the Olympics. I watched the Olympics.
What'd you think about the guy from the big man that's now with the Celtics from France? What'd you think of his game?
The
Did
big
you think
man
he was
that's
going to be better than what he is in the pros, or you think he's kind of where you thought he was going to be
the big man from where?
from France?
That's with the San Antonio, or the big man that's
I thought he was
with the
with the
Wizards. Tell me the big man
Celtics.
from the Wizards.
He was a guy who like posterized. He ended up like dunking all over. I think it
LeBron.
was like LeBron or something like that.
The big boy that dunked on LeBron, the shooter, he kind of a shooter, kind of big guy. I think he's all right. I think he's with the Sixers, and but he's all.
Maybe that's who I was thinking. I
Yeah,
said
he's
Celtics. I was thinking
he
of the Celtics.
that I think he's all right, man. He can shoot. He can big body, can get to the rim. I think a lot of these guys struggle defensively once they get to the NBA to be able to handle guys with that speed and that quickness and getting to the basket and the court being so much wide and playing man to man. That's probably one of the hardest things. The NBA is really so much focused on man to man. They don't really. Some coaches do play zone, but they're really so focused on the man to man. But the other big man that's with the Wizards that got drafted, I think he's going to need a couple years to get better. What the NBA needs of him as far as catching and dunking and just, I don't know if he's dealt. France has a lot of really good post players, but I don't know. I don't understand sometimes where some of the European players struggle when they get into the NBA. A lot more have developed a lot more faster, but a lot of I think it's just more on the defensive end. A lot of European players struggle defensively once they get to the
I
NBA.
gotta say, I can see that, but I think it translates to the style of play. So,
Yeah.
like, I think you're right about it, and I think the difference is, and the more and more I watch, the more and more I try to critique it for myself. But going back to the style of play, if I got 5 guys working together, out of that 5 guys, there's always going to be a weakness. There's always going to be a favorable matchup. Whether I back cut, whether I go off of a screen, whether I just run all over the floor, someone hits a double screen for me, and if you got guys who are able to play like that in the way that the Europeans play, where there's 5 guys moving at the same time and swinging the ball, I think that's really where they struggle at, is because when you come to the NBA, the game is so much slower in the half court. Even though you got the shot clock, even though you got that, I mean, there isn't that much ball movement like you would, where you're seeing guys really moving all over the place. So here's a guy who, if you can get him moving and you can get him a little bit of space, now he can score the ball a lot better. The problem is when you got guys slowing the game down, and you gotta be able to use that skill set where you've got to get around the guy by yourself. It's not as easy, when you're just coming off of a screen and you got guys camped out helping, waiting for you to be able to swing the ball. So I think that's kind of where they could do that. I would love for an NBA team to stop shooting so many threes and start getting to the cup and using 5 guys playing as one. I think that would make the game so much more enlightening, like the way that it used to was played. It was pass up a good shot for a great shot, and then what you're trying to do is trying to find the favorable matchups and then be able to showcase that skill set, that Vince Carter dunk, that Muggsy Bogues coming down the lane, and getting to the rack, and then Spud Webb dunking in the game. Like, that's exciting. But to see a 7-footer run up and down the floor and just shoot and miss shots. I mean, I got floor seats. Sat on the floor multiple times this year and being able to watch them up close and personal. I mean, these guys are specimen. There's not one guy that's not a specimen. Even the little point guard that we have from the Grizzlies, I think he's all like, what, 5'6" or something. But
The guy from, talking about the guy from Japan?
So crafty. Yogi, they call him Yogi, this little point guard. Have you seen him?
Yeah, I've seen him.
So dude is actually, I mean, he's got like eyes in the back of his head. He makes the game so much more exciting because of the passes that he makes. Like, he has a lot of misdirection. He pulls you one direction and swings the ball the other way. And, like, it's just, that's the stuff I think that would keep me in my seat. That's the type of thing that I would buy more game tickets to. But just to run down the floor and just, just shoot shots. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love watching them. Never stop watching them play. But college to me is so much more intense. It's so much more fun of a game to watch than the NBA right now. If I had to go spend some money to watch a game that was exciting, to enjoy the event out, like the average college game is going to be phenomenal. Now when it comes to playoff time, there's nothing better than playoff basketball. Don't get me wrong.
No, NBA playoff basketball is the best. I mean, but still, I think March Madness is even better than that because they playing so hard defensively. And going back to your shooting the threes, when I watch Germany, not France didn't shoot it that well, but watching Germany and watching Jokic's team, I can't remember what his country's team name, but they shot the ball so well. Like Germany shot the ball so well. Like USA had to play defense so hard against Germany just to get out there and challenge the three ball. Like just to see how, even if they shoot a lot of threes, just to see how well they shoot the ball, how they barely miss is also exciting as well. But if you see them missing so many shots, that's not exciting. And going back to your Michael Jordan thing, he was so good because not only did he shoot a lot of mid range, a lot of fadeaways, but he hit. He barely missed. You know what I'm saying? I'd be surprised to see him miss.
And that thing about him was, he always used to say that he didn't want to fall in love with the three. Because he figured that you could always. It was kind of like the three was the bailout, But the one thing about that mid range, he had such a great mid range. But then it was like when you would watch a mid range, and then you'd find a way to just take one more step and get around the defender and finish at the rim, and then you get a highlight. Like, that's what you're paying for. Because I hate to say it, like, you can go to some of these courts nowadays. I mean, I can go to any court, any Lifetime gym, any gym around the area, and you can see some guys that can play. But can you see a guy go three guys, give you a head fake and one step, raise up and dunk it, where you can feel the aura coming off of the dunk? Like, that's what you pay those high level athletes. That's what you get with the Ant-Man. That's what you get with the Jordan. That's kind of missing from the game. Vince Carter did a great job of it. Penny Hardaway would just dazzle you all the time with what he was going to do at a 6'6" guard that could just put the ball on a string and make you his puppet. And, I hope we can find a way to get back to that game.